Hi there, how are you? Michelle Kuipers here, and I just wanted to share with you something that I found on the internet that I thought might be helpful for small business owners, entrepreneurs, and even salespeople. During Hurricane Harvey, we had this favorite phrase that everybody seemed to use, and that was hunker down. Well, now during COVID, we have this new favorite phrase, and that is pivot. So I thought I would go on the internet and do a little research and see what that's all about. And wow, if I didn't find a lot of information about pivoting. Hey, Susan. But this was particularly interesting, I thought, and that's how to pivot from in-person to virtual sales. So at the start of this year, we had dinners, we had business trips, we had all kinds of things lined up to conduct face-to-face sales meetings. That's just been the norm for forever. But by second quarter, that came to this screeching halt because of COVID-19, and it forced sales teams to shift or pivot into the virtual world. And so business deals now are being closed by phone or video calls or even emails. And so the question is, how does one make that change or pivot from the in-person sales meeting to a virtual meeting and make the change for the long term? For a lot of people, it's not so easy because the phone and video calls limit the ability of nonverbal communication. Just think how important the handshake has been for eons. That handshake is so important in business culture, and you can't really replicate that over video or telephone. So your body language and the tone of your voice carries so much weight and says so much in how we communicate. Zoom conferencing, it allows us to flash the pearly whites, smile big, and you can even wow the customer with lots of enthusiasm. I'm sure we've all seen many of those people just, super bubbly and so on. But at the end of the day, the sale is taking place offline. Or in an email or on the phone. So in-person meetings, they ease the confusion with complex industries. Let's say, to me is complex, insurance or financial planning. Those require more explanation. And then even with certain clientele, an in-person meeting helps, like with the elderly or the less tech-savvy people. So that's like a really big challenge now, is how do you offer the same kind of accessibility and convenience and understanding that you've always been able to provide? So how do you make the shift from in-person to virtual sales? So here's some tips that, as I was reading, I wrote these things down because I'm one of those that learns better by writing down, that will help that sales process and build the client trust even when you don't have that handshake. So number one, social media, you have to use social media to its fullest because that is your secret weapon. It allows you to stay top of mind, but in a non-invasive way. And customers won't get mad if you retweet, if you comment, if you share one of their posts. They're actually going to thank you for it. They'll remember you for that. Getting comfortable with social media, it also allows you to do market research. You can network with others, and you can even keep tabs on your competition. So social media, use it. The first impression is still so important, and I'm sure you've all seen this. I know I have. So the format is different, but it's not changed the importance of that first impression. Quality control matters in video meetings. You need to dress and groom appropriately. I was on a meeting just the other day, and you had the hair going and you just wondered if they just woke up. So dress and groom appropriately. The number 2 is have a professional looking and distraction free environment. And as I was going through this, I said, wow, this is probably too much stuff going on behind me. So I need to clean this up because it is a distraction. People are looking, who's that picture, and so on. And then test your connection before signing on. I came online on Monday and I was cut off halfway through my presentation because I didn't have the internet. It just went down on me. I'm not sure that I could have really done anything about that, but you have to be prepared as you can be. The other thing is that you need to remember that if the meeting that you were going to have in person, you would have made sure that everything was perfect. So why don't you do that virtually? Needs to be just as important. And I can't tell you how many times you go into a meeting online and you see somebody's little cameras turned off and they just have this, image of them. Don't do that. We want to see the person just as we would in an online, as we would in an in-person meeting. Number 3 is think mobile first. In-person sales are never really going to disappear, but the future of sales is increasingly going mobile, and companies probably need to make some adjustments. So people are still going to go to their smartphones first to have their problem solved. If something breaks down, you pick up your cell phone. Doesn't matter where you are, and you want some answers. So organizations need to prioritize their mobile service, and they need to see about how they can solve problems by smartphones or real-time support. Let's see, the other thing is, number 4 is provide value up front. So salespeople should aim to provide value to their prospects in some way, and being proactive and helpful will help you stand out. Again, top of mind, you're going to stand out from the rest of people receiving tons of emails and video conferences now. So if you provide value on the front end of the interaction, then that's a great way to open doors, because you can actually you can create tools and guides and workbooks that will help your target client, and these kinds of tools will make your outreach a lot easier. Because you're leading with value instead of leading with, hey, can I get your business? I know that there's a payroll company that for years, at the beginning of each year, you get a book. The payroll specialist comes to you and gives bookkeepers, accountants a book of tax tips. And what a valuable tool, and what a great way for them to get in front of you and say, here, this is for you. That's great value. So provide value. And then number 5, as always, I like to say, listen and be empathetic. Many sales opportunities are being put on hold right now due to the economic circumstances. So be a good listener. Find out what the customer's true needs are, even if it means that it's a delay in closing the deal. Listening, I think, has never been more important as it is now. And you need to explore how that customer might want to do business with you in the future, but it might not be right now. And you just have to remember, when is it time to listen instead of sell? That's going to be the key to the deal. So quick recap. 1 is use social media. 2 is prioritize the first impression. That's the most important. 3, think mobile. 4, provide value up front. and listen and be empathetic. So listen, I hope that this has been helpful, and if you know any small business owners or entrepreneurs that might be interested, please share this with them, like and share. We know that sharing is caring. And if you're interested in my, my research, I found another couple of articles that might be of interest: how to drive traffic to your e-commerce store. And the other one is effective ways to retrain your salespeople. So if you'd like any additional information, let me know. Send me a message, and I'm happy to provide that, no charge. It's just part of, the research I did, so it'll save you some time. Thanks, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.